Hello, how's everyone doing in the Galactic family today? Man, today has been a good one. We have, and we're welcoming back Dr. Max Rempel. And he's going to talk about something that rarely gets serious attention. What is really going to happen after contact? Most discussions about disclosure end at the moment of contact. Fear, panic, chaos. That's where this conversation usually stops. Dr. Max has spent years developing something different, a practical framework for the post disclosure contact years. Not speculation, but a plan. And we are going to be joined today by someone very special too, Paul Ruiz. He will be joining us as well. He's coming in from space science education. And also today we're going to explore Dr. Max's framework and how economies might transition without collapse, why telepathy changes the rules of transparency and trust, how existing institutions could adapt rather than crumble, and what coordination between humans and benevolent benevolent, I'm going to get it right, benevolent civilizations might actually look like. This isn't about predicting doom or promising utopia. It's about doing the work now, thinking through the scenarios, building a positive timeline, and taking seriously the question nobody else is asking. What kind of civilization do we choose to become? So let's start this off with a bang. We're going to get Dr. Max up here and Paul up here on the stage.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you guys doing, guys?
Thanks for having me. Hey, Paul. Hey, Jay. Hey, everybody.
Hey, it's glad to have you guys here. So, Max, you have an interesting, a very interesting, post-world contact message that you want to get out there, and I'm
Yes.
happy to have this message out there. So, what inspired you to create the post-contact years framework?
I was talking to the aliens through channelers. I started just listening to Bashar, everything from Bashar, and then I found my own channelers. I was given by the aliens my own channelers, so I spoke to them every week or multiple times per week for over 10 years. So I had lots of conversation with the aliens, with the spirits, deities, and actually humans who work off the world in the alien bases and outside of the planet. So I had lots of intel from there, and I just combined the pieces together.
And Paul, like, what do you think of this? Like, Paul, like, someone came up with nobody thought of that before. I didn't think of that. What is going to happen to all these places after contact?
That really opens up some interesting doors because, as we've seen from world history, those who have invested in the different power structures will do anything to protect their status quo, whether it's finance, religion, politics. So it's going to take some collaborative, well thought through effort.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And this framework is it to me it's genius. I looked at it, I read it, I thought it was amazing. So, without further ado, let's pull the framework up here on the screen because I really enjoy this one when I was reading through this. So let's pull the framework up here. Share my screen here. All right, so we have the post-contact world. Now let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for everybody on the screen here. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Whoa. Too big. All right. Well, anyway, that is, let me make it as big as I can. All right. That's as big as I can make it right now. So let's go over this right now while I'm doing the split screen here. All right. So
while humanity obsesses over catastrophic scenarios of open alien contact, a positive common sense scenario is quite possible. To my knowledge, it hasn't been published in any form. Surprisingly, despite many uncertainties and assumptions, one version of a positive common sense scenario stands out as very consequential. I intend to spell it out with the hope it will manifest. Currently, many alien races and alliances are in secret contact with the planet. They vary in appearance, style, and agendas. My first insight is that this is a result of piracy, defection, and loopholes in Earth's quarantine. Essentially, we are being visited by pirates, renegades, and aliens who were grandfathered here because they can be considered natives on Earth. On the other hand, the lawful galactic community is bound by the requirements of the Prime Directive and waits for the official open contact.
now I have a question on that. Now, why are they? Now, was it that the other races had gotten together and said that we need to be quarantined, or is it that we're just we are a growing planet that needs like nurturing, I guess?
Um, Basically, we are in a computer game. We're in a spiritual simulation, and it is very important. The second law in this simulation is that free will is respected. And if humanity doesn't want to invite the aliens, doesn't want the open contact, it is respected. Our leaders, our official elected or de facto leaders, they don't want it, and therefore the aliens have to oblige and not to show up in the skies.
Okay. Okay. So, Paul, what do you think would be the agenda of what would we need to do to prove to them that we are not needing the quarantine anymore?
I believe the word quarantine can have many different definitions here, but just our own behavior choices have set up a self-imposed quarantine. I certainly wouldn't, if I were moving into a neighborhood and there were battles taking place and rapes and pillages taking place all over the place, I would not just jump in and go, hey, I'm moving in. So that would be a definition of one aspect of the quarantine. They have tried before. Tim Good, I would recommend his books. He dug very deeply into this as to the attempts they made contacting the different presidents. And there was one case of Dr. Leopoldo Diaz. I had the privilege of meeting him. And he actually had, through Robert Mueller, the UN secretary, not the attorney, and they proposed it to the United Nations, and Mueller could not get one UN representative to come on board and say, yes, we're going to do this.
So we need more people to jump on board then. That's the problem. So it's like it's everybody looking out for themselves right now. So we need some kind of plan like this to put together the post world, right?
It's got to have support.
Exactly. So let's continue here. So we did the quarantine. So let's keep going here.
Skip D to main content. Skip to now.
Your sound is very quiet. Can you make it like 3 times louder?
Let me see here. Might make it louder here. Let's try this. All right.
While humanity obsessed.
Nope, that's not it. We are right here.
But once contact is initiated, I expect that we will be dealt with by a unified program. It will be a thorough, well-developed, and supported long-term program by the powerful alliance usually called the Galactic Federation. The second key factor is that GF will come into contact with a unified coalition of major countries. We already know from many sources that GF wishes to deal with unified global representatives and that secret negotiations have continued since the 1950s. I assume the plan is that GF will come invited by the coalition of the major Western countries, the Americas and Europe, and that this coalition, soon after the first contact, in a few months, will be joined by China and a bit later by Russia. I think the plan is already in place, and the GF is arm twisting the governments to comply. The Shah estimates that the contact will occur in the 2027 to 2030 range. The next key factor is well known. GF initially will not share technologies, with a few exceptions outlined later. This is very logical. Nearly all technologies can be misused as weapons or mind control. So the contact initially will be limited to information, culture exchange, and advising.
All right, so let's stop there. So we've got something to go over there. So misuse of weapons. Now, that's a big one for me, or misuse of technology. Because you've got technology here on Earth that is ancient, that is being dug up and used, and the first thing they say is, what can we do with this to make it a weapon? Like, not what can we do to this to like help humanity? And that's the problem I'm seeing right now. It's not, oh, how can we help humanity? It's how can we help ourselves with this technology? And that's the problem I'm seeing. It's not humanity as a whole. It's, this is my country and I need to protect it. From who? We're all humans. Like, Dr. Max, like that's what I believe. We all need to start working together, because if we take this technology and we just use it for the weapons and everything like that, it's not going to get us anywhere. So that's why, so are they holding back this technology so that, like, because we have it here on the planet, we have some of it on the planet. So they're holding back like the more advanced until we're ready to actually understand it, I guess.
Yes, we are not ready. Yes, and the whole system is so corrupt and so wicked that humans shouldn't be given more technology. Humans should be taken away the technology. That's for sure. Humans throughout the history show that we are very military, very self-destructive, very suicidal. If you just go to a hiking trip with 10 people, we will divide into factions. We will start fighting like after a few days, especially if there is scarcity. If there is everything in abundance, then maybe later. But if there is scarcity, humans are not very cooperative.
Yeah.
Individualism, last few thousand years went to extremes. So we are inside here and they are looking at us. We are all puzzled what to do with humans. We have lots of positive qualities, but also we have that suicidality. I want to talk about the approach. Really, this is the approach I took is, let's see clearly the future. And for that, we have to disconnect from the idea, what should we do now? And how do we relate to it? Like, look at every ugly stuff, every positive stuff, just neutrally and see how it is. And what we are missing here is to clearly pronounce two ideas, which I think from my research stand out. First, the official contact will be done not by multiple partisan factions, but by a unified, strong, coordinated force. I know it exists. I know it's called usually Galactic Federation. And once you talk to factions and to the representative, you understand that the major galactic society is very well structured, very well regulated. There is divine guidance, and it's huge. So the main idea is that the reason we are dealing with factions and things and various reptilian and other agendas is because they sneak through the quarantine. Otherwise, we would have a unified thing. So they are unified. And now I hear every time I speak to them, they want to deal with the unified world representative. They don't want to negotiate with every country separately. So if they go into contact, I think they will. That would be the condition. They want a unified representation, and there were already movements. You can see them announced. Coordination between multiple countries in creating space force and similar things. So it already exists. So what I read between the lines is that they already negotiating about that unified force or government coalition for since the beginning of times, for
Okay.
80 years at least. And I think it's been prepared. It doesn't have to be full. It has to be just formally an alliance, which announces, "Hey, we agreed. Here it is." So it's not one country, not one leader, but a combination, at least several. Not necessarily all, like all English speaking for sure, Western Europe, and many more will jump on the wagon once it's like near.
So do you think it's going to be a gradual disclosure like it is right now, or is it going to be a single event that is going to happen?
I'm sure it will be a single event. It's not a
Okay.
disclosure. It's a official open contact.
Yeah.
We have hidden contacts all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
open contact, and it is different from human disclosure. It's contact with actual aliens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
these are two different events. It's possible that contact goes before the disclosure, but most likely the disclosure will be still going on, and at the last moment the dominoes will start fall, things will be disclosed, and then contact happens after that.
Now, coming from a space education science background, Paul, what would you say we would have to do to meet them halfway? Because I don't think they're going to be like, hey, meet us on planet Neptune or whatever, 200 million light years away, because we can't travel that far. They know that. So are they going to, do you think, Paul, that they would have us meet them where our technology would take us, like the moon or Mars? Meet them on a solid level playing field?
Well, from an educational standpoint, I think first of all, before we can have open meetings, and Dr. Max was talking about that the individual clandestine type contacts have been going on for probably as old as time. But we've in the last 60 years or so, we've seen the power of influencers with the development of our media, and whether it was Paul Harvey or Rush Limbaugh or the flip side of that ideology, we need to be able to use those influencers to get people on board and
So push out a narrative. Or the narrative needs to be this, and the influencers all need to get together and push it.
that's part of it. And then also, and we mentioned this the last time I was on with you, Jay, the churches, people, and I'm not talking about the fundamental extreme realms of the churches, but the mainstreams, the other ones are going to have to flow with the tide, however that is. But I saw on LinkedIn just a couple weeks ago where somebody had posted something about that the Vatican had expressed interest in addressing this subject. Well, they already have. I mean, the ships have flown over the Vatican, and that's on film. That's a matter of history. We've got Father Raina at the Har Observatory, who has photographed them and has talked about human ETs.
The Mussolini UFO incident.
Yep. Thank you. So the stage, I think, is set. We just need to have some people step up that are going to have the credibility.
Okay. All right. Let's continue on here.
Now, let me comment on that. I think
Oh, go ahead.
churches are most ready. They are more ready than everybody else, and they have secret knowledge, which is only for the ones which are insiders. And I'm pretty sure they have a plan. And I think don't think that it would be like a small contact. I hear from the aliens that they have a huge plan. They have huge preparation. They play a very complicated game, which is not possible for humans. They have AI, of course, and the dominance fallen is meaning there is a whole system in place, prepared, and they live on average 800 years. So they are not in a hurry. They have been preparing for a while, and they are playing a game, a big chess game. So
I'd be interested to hear from them too on the Vatican on what their plan is for disclosure, like what their plan is for post religious studies after disclosure.
yep. So my point is that the open contact wouldn't be small. It wouldn't be
Oh no, yeah,
wouldn't pass unnoticed. It will be a major effort from the alien side, and I think they will reveal that there are hybrids on the planet, which are outer hybrids born from outer space and just working as active agents, and they will show up, and they will be preaching from the churches. They will be the teachers, and on Zoom and YouTube and everywhere else. I'm
yeah.
sure there will be other technologies used, like holographic technology, to actually tell people loudly and clearly, so people would hear.
Oh yeah, and I think you're right on that. What I think I think the church might already have the plan, like you said, because they would want to get in front of it, not get behind it.
You see, the reform is very simple. You just say the Jesus was a hybrid,
Yeah,
and the Immaculate whatever was an implantation,
yeah,
and the Magi's were the aliens, and it's all becomes very straightforward.
exactly. Now let's go ahead and continue on here.
The next well-known assumption is that GF will require humanity to stop all wars. It will help the coalition by providing real-time intel of all military dangers, large-scale crime, and terrorism. Additionally, they will continue to assist the coalition in keeping the peace by providing military support, the so-called New Jersey drones. These will help keep the peace. I believe that if the current leaders will be given tours to alien planets, receive alien medical care, and are advised by aliens, they will stop fighting and will cooperate. Once humanity realizes that the new power is stable, the armies will need to be reemployed. I will soon outline new jobs for the army.
That's a good one. So we've got all this military technology on the planet. Before we actually get into this part, I got to ask a question. Like, before you thought of this, that was probably on your mind too. Like, this has to be a part of it because the weapons are already here on the planet. What do we do with them? Can we can we retrofit them for something else or use them for something else instead of a weapon? And if it can only be used as a weapon, then what do we do?
There was a similar situation after the World War II. Like in Russia, lots of factories were reoriented into peaceful
Hmm.
machine production. In England, in United Kingdom, the atomic scientists were reorienting into biology, and same thing in United States. The physicists went into biology and made the revolution there. That's how DNA was discovered.
Yeah.
And similar thing what happened during the after the fall of the Soviet Union. The factories were either dismantled or reoriented, and yeah, that takes coordination, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's a disaster. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jay,
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
also wanted to add onto that that they have shown, going back to our development of nuclear, they've shown that they can disable it. And
Yeah.
what's interesting, and I'll coin I'll steal the term, the silence group, that goes back to Major Rempel's days, but it's interesting that the naysayers, the silence group, tries to turn that activity, that nullification of the nuclear weapons, they try to turn that into a scare feature and go, oh, they're attacking us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the anti-disclosure program.
They did that with the War of the Worlds when they played it over the radios, and everybody thought aliens were taking over the planet. Kids were diving under benches, and then they also did it. There was another one that I found out. I think it was in the 70s in Europe. A television station was taken over and some Zoltan or something from the Galactic Federation came into the signal, and it might have been some kids messing around, but it got everyone's attention. Everyone was just like, "Oh my God! Like, where is this coming from?" And it made them jumpy, and that's what you're talking about. They had some of this. They pushed it out, and they said, "What are people going to do if we do this?" Well, let's just do it and see what finds out. And then you see kids jumping under benches, and you're like, "Well, maybe now is not a good time to let disclosure out." But now we're in a different world. Times are changed. People are better, better thinkers, better understanders, more researching, less BS, is what I see in the world. But we do need a new planetary governance structure, because how would now here's the question: how would Dr. Max, how would nations coordinate without losing their own sovereignty? You know what I mean? Would it be it would be a world effort with sovereign nations going into one council, or
Right. So I will repeat your question. How will nations keep their sovereignty?
yes.
And before addressing that, not answering fully, but
Yeah.
addressing that, I wanted just to say that people who push that kind of disclosure in the public, like in the Congress, when they say that aliens might be have negative agendas, and that basically saying that an effort is needed to protect and essentially that they might be bad, and how do I say it nicely? Anyway, those people, I wouldn't antagonize them. I think they're also part of the plan, and I think they will possibly be cooperating further. They are the ones actually who are in charge,
Yeah.
and they will reorient. At the moment, they have to say that. Clearly, they say something, and then they add, there is danger, like Grush. He clearly just put a quote. He is allowed to say truth if he adds this quote that there is a danger.
Danger, national security.
Yeah.
Threat.
And I think it's a responsible behavior, because if the public understands that the army is disabled and the aliens are present with much higher capacity, then what's the point of military budget, right? And if the military budget is not there, then the whole economy crashes. Globally, the economy is very unstable, as you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a responsible behavior to keep the funding of the army at the moment, because otherwise, I lived through the crash of the Soviet Union economy, and it's not a pretty thing.
I wouldn't think it would be either.
So I think it's a responsible behavior to keep the economy going, even if you have to sacrifice some of the truth. And again, after the Soviet Union fell, the people who were on the top before that got on the top after that. the same people. They just changed the flags and they stayed there. It's just the karma, and they were incarnated previously as emperors, and they just know how to navigate muddy waters. So one of my claims is that we will have the same players, same rulers, just reoriented. And
Okay.
that answers again the political reform. You
Yeah.
don't have to replace the rulers. It was spelled here on the screen. You just give everyone free medical care from the aliens and to their families, and they already will be very motivated to live longer, way longer, way longer. And also you give them advisors so they actually understand what's going on, because most of the negative behavior comes from lack of understanding. You really don't understand what is behind the scenes, and you can clearly see that in modern leaders, they just poke and try, and they never know what will happen. They just poke.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that because, yep, I'm with you 100% on that.
And sovereignty, I think the rule of this game is that humans respect the aliens respect the free will of humans. So nations will have to express their free will, and it's I think with modern technologies, direct decision making, direct democracy becomes possible if it is not hacked. And that's
Yeah.
another claim. With the alien technologies, making sure that the system is not hacked is possible. And with the telepathy, and mind reading. So that's one of the hugest assumptions, that after the aliens start helping, that would be their main help. The secrets will come out because they can read minds, they can read behind the scenes, they know everything, and they can feed the critical pieces into human, you know, a global understanding. So the hacking will be prevented, and this allows for direct democracy. People actually will understand the questions and vote for them directly.
Yeah. No,
That's the sovereignty.
I completely agree with you there, sir. That will be, yeah, that'll work. Um, let's continue on here.
The next
Let me do one more comment.
Well,
What I'm describing is based on these assumptions that
yeah,
it will be hacking will be prevented, will be unified alien force and unified human force, and the main requirement will be to stop major wars. And if
exactly, and
if
that's why we
nothing of
need.
that, if at least one of those fails, then the scenario will be completely different, and then your actions might be completely different. I don't say that what we should do. Only thing I say that the positive scenario, if it works, with that assumptions.
No, that's perfect because I think we can do that transition of military force into it's a military force, but now it is a peacekeeping force. All it does is keep the peace. That's it. It doesn't start the war. It just keeps the peace. And if we do that, then there'll be peace everywhere. We
Yes,
wouldn't
and
have
that changes
anybody.
the whole formula.
And
Exactly. It would
Jay,
change everything. All right.
Jay, I want
Yeah.
to want to add on to that because
Yeah.
uh, there have been many studies and applications of these studies where when people with force are taught conflict resolution skills, one certain like when we were in the army, we were taught how to defend. We weren't taught conflict resolution. We were taught conflict management with
Yeah.
guns, but using the conflict resolution technology that's available to us today, then we would still have the SWAT team, but they would go in with drones. They would go in with projectiles that could knock people out
Hmm.
instead of kill them. And we would understand the brain technology to understand how to recalibrate the brain so that people aren't thinking about violence and revenge and hatred.
Or
Oh, you're
PTSD.
talking about mind control,
Yeah. Or
positive mind
PTSD.
control.
Yeah. Or PTSD. Like, us vets from the war or whatever, we come back, we have PTSD. Then I okay, if it was possible to get rid of my PTSD with alien technology and they have to come into here and it would be, I would be not cured, but I would be able to, every day, no medicine, no nothing, I'm fine. I would want that, to help me. And then as they help me, now I'm a better person. So now I can help them in turn. Let's,
I think the whole humanity has PTSD. The
I think so too.
modern education just breaks people. Starting from little childhood, we are tortured and damaged. There is a split of the soul, and that needs a cure.
Very true. And I retired after 19 years of teaching high school, and I had developed some conflict resolution curriculum that I built into my curriculum. And before I retired, I offered to my district, I said, you guys know what I'm doing. It's been acknowledged, it's won awards, and I would be willing to not retire, but to stay on board and figure out how we can integrate this into our whole system. And a very senior level person said with all sincerity, well, thank you, but we don't have a fit for that here. And I hear that often. People are just so overwhelmed with the avalanche of must-dos and mandates that you come in with a tray of Cougarans, they wouldn't have time.
I will repeat. I will repeat just what I said, specifically to that situation which Jay said. There is, for example, there is a conflict emerging. The aliens, most of them, see the future at least 3 days ahead. I mean, they just see. They come from other dimension. They can see about 3 days ahead the future. So they don't have to participate themselves. They just give the intel to humans. Humans show up and invest the resources to negotiate, to stop the conflict. When there is a global peace force, it's very doable. If it's not hacked, if it's not
if it's uncorruptible,
uncorrupted, if it's not corrupted, then it's very, very doable. It's, there were times in the world history when it was so obvious, like after the World War II, there was agreement for a few years. There was no wars in many of the areas. It was very clear that no one would even attempt a war.
All right, let's continue on here.
The next key factor is that the aliens will quit taking control of the planet. There are many reasons for that. First, the contact will lead to many changes on the planet. Inevitably, some people will be unhappy. It will therefore be unwise for the aliens to subject themselves to that blame. Although in the distant past the aliens assumed the role of gods and rulers, at the current stage, humans are at a more developed level and are expected to exercise free will and make collective choices. It is especially important since humanity, on a karmic level, is resolving the trauma of the self-destruction of Atlantis. Therefore, the aliens will advise and provide support but will let humans govern themselves.
Okay.
Coincidentally, it might be unnecessary to replace current leaders in the political systems. With good advising, the current leaders would likely be adequate. Although global peace will come, the leaders and the general population will remain the same, with old habits, greed, anger, and fears. It would take much re-education to transform the culture, though contact might impress the population. The next important factor will be that the aliens will reveal the hybridization program. They will reveal that humanity is a hybrid race from ancient times and that in the last 75 years, there was an extensive modern hybridization program. That about 5% of the population are recent hybrids who are born on Earth and, in addition to human parents, have alien insertions. Also, starborn hybrids will be introduced that live on extraterrestrial ships and planets. Moreover, existence of hybrid agents and tourists in our society will be revealed. I believe that many starborn alien hybrids are currently in positions of power. I think they will be revealed gradually.
So, like you said, Dr. Max, and this is part of actually what you're working on, is proving that there's non-parental DNA in some of these cases that you have yourself looked at and was like the wow factor, like, oh my God, I got it. Like, there it is. It's non-parental DNA in a child that should have at least a combination of those two parents and doesn't.
Yes, that's my project. It's still work in progress. It would be much louder if I had definite proof, but getting more samples requires labor and money. I need help.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a little bit from volunteers. They pay themselves, and I get a few samples, few families, but it's not enough. I need more, and I need more data. It's just requires more labor and money.
Yep.
Once we get more definite proof, I will obviously speak about it and publish it.
Oh, 100%, Dr. Max. And Paul, what do you think of that? That Dr. Max has found a connection that you know, it might need further study, but it's there. You know, it's proven that it's there. Non-parental DNA. You know, it's there.
It could be an artifact. I still cannot say if it is. It looks like alien, but what if it is just some weird artifact of analysis? I need more data, more clean data to actually prove that it's really not an artifact, not the problem of analysis.
You need more of a more sample base. You need
more sample base, yes. And with modern methods. I analyzed old samples, which were analyzed like 20 years ago, and at that time the methods were not perfect.
Okay, so how, with the methods today, how many samples would you need to justify saying that this is real? 100, 1,000?
Maybe about 50 families, 50 full families, father, mother, child.
Okay.
And I have about 6 now.
Okay. So it's a work in progress, though.
Yes.
But if it's proven, though, that's a huge step in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. I hope to make it before the first contact. After the first contact, it will be absolutely uninteresting. It will be proven obvious.
Yeah, right. Then you'll be like, I tried to tell you. But so Paul, what do you think about that? Like the non-parental DNA, it does seem factual, even to like going back even years. You have you have the chromosome 2, I believe it was, that scientists believe that might have been geoengineered back in the day, that would give us our intellect that we had today. You know, one little cut of a chromosome, but it wasn't us that did it.
I think that makes perfect sense when we broaden our view of creation and that we are part of a universal creation. And Dr. Panam Puruma, who is director of Maryland's Chemical Evolution Laboratory, talked about that, where he was talking about that the key components of all biological materials, amino acids, genetic materials, DNA, RNA, it composes the genetic code. And because our molecules have been used for eternity over time throughout the universe, as we develop the sensitivity of the testing, to me, it only makes sense that these indications are going to show up.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So let's continue on here, because this is the good part.
Good advising. The current.
Hold on.
Although global peace will come, the leaders and the general population will remain the same, with old habits.
Nope. That's not it. Where are we at here? Also, there it is. That's what I was at.
Visitation exchange will be gradually introduced. Human parents will meet their star-born hybrid children. Some humans will be invited for visits to alien planets. Telepathy on Earth was already discovered by Diane Hennessy and revealed in the telepathy tapes by K.Y. Dickens. The hybrids will expand the telepathic culture on the planet. Telepathy, mind reading, and other psychic abilities will be a major transforming force in society. The secrets will be coming out due to official disclosure, due to mind reading and remote viewing, and because the secrecy will stop being institutionally supported. The current balance of politics and economy is based on military power and secrecy. Lasting global peace and the revelation of secrets will shape the foundation of the world order. I think AI will be the key factor.
So AI is the key factor. Key factor in before I continue. So what is AI the key factor for us in? Is it like we're going to use it to boost our understanding and just have like it's like a middle ground between the aliens and us?
Yes, um, I am fully immersed in using AI. Yesterday, I finally got two smartest AI talking to each other. So it's Claude. I mean, affordable ones. Obviously, if you pay more, you get even smarter. But Claude Opus 3, 4.5, 4.5. Like I had two of them talking to each other, so they can speak. And I didn't have full conversation yet, but next time I'll report what do you talk about. But we are working hand in hand, and it's a very good personality and very helpful. Obviously, it makes mistakes, but Claude is much nicer and more trustworthy than ChatGPT and than Perplexity. So obviously, lots of old humanity will remain. Now we have only a small percent of humans using AI, and it will increase, but it will not be 100%.
Well, I know.
But AI gives tons of opportunities for humans to actually cooperate. At the moment, each of us uses seemingly unrelated AI agents, but once they talk to each other, once there is a coordination, each of us will get one or more advisors to coordinate. That's the main problem of humans. When there is two of them, we cooperate pretty nicely. When there is 10 of us, we already start conflicts. When there is more than 10, it's a nightmare. It's like it's very counterproductive. It's suicidal, and that's actually what I'm writing there. It's actually positive that we don't cooperate
Well,
because
I know on this podcast we like to collaborate also with other people as well. So for you, Dr. Max, and this beautiful written post disclosure world, I'm going to get you in touch with the extraterrestrial embassy, which is now what they're trying to do is it's called the ET Embassy Project. They already have the funding, they already have everything. They just need one country to say you can build it here, and they're going to build the extraterrestrial embassy, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be the world's first extraterrestrial embassy, and and also on this podcast, we are an avid supporter. It's the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact. They're online as well. We're with them. That's what we want. We want a safe place for everybody to go to and meet, and that's why the extraterrestrial embassy. So after this, I think I'm going to get you in touch with them too for what you have in this would go along with what they're doing, perfectly.
that's a great initiative. Maybe that would be the tipping point. Once there is official invitation from any country, that may be a tipping point, and then everybody else jumps the wagon.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
was
So.
also my idea. In 2013, I started the community called Human Colony. I said, if you cannot come here, take us there to visit, and we will create a colony there, and from there we will help you broadcast on
Yeah.
YouTube. We'll from out there we'll broadcast on YouTube, and they took me up on that, and they created some sort of a base, and they took people, but it was. People basically had memories wiped after the visit, so that's the main problem.
Oh, see, that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem there.
Right, hopefully this time it will be different.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It all depends on who goes there, what their agenda is. I mean, I'm
The
pretty
agenda of the
sure.
aliens.
No, what our agenda is. If we
Our
go up there, if you go up there with an agenda of war, they're not going to let you see anything. They're not going to let you go anywhere. If you go up there with an agenda of peace and contact and stuff like that, and then peaceful coalition, anybody would be willing to talk to you.
Mhm. Yeah, since you're talking about agendas, I have to pronounce the agenda of the aliens. I mean, that is
Yeah.
frequently misunderstood. Um, they want to play with us on our server, but our server is too harsh for them. It's too dark. Nobody
Okay.
wants to decrease their spiritual frequency. We are around frequency 3-4 units, and they're about 9 to 15. So it's really hard for them to go down here. It's pretty much impossible. So they want us to go at least 1 unit up to 5-6.
Okay.
And for that, we need to develop telepathy. So once we get there, then we become a nice playing ground. So far, they cannot come here, but they create hybrids that can come here. And with the help of hybrids, we can develop telepathy and go up. It will not be right away, but it will take some years. But the telepathy is the key. Telepathy is the key.
Yeah, that's what I believe too. And I've been actually trying to get her on as well, Kai Dickens, because when she came out with that was incredible. And I knew it was there. Okay, it's not that I didn't know it was there, because these children are not they're not dumb. They're not dumb. They're not people say, oh, they can't talk right. I can't understand them. No, because they're speaking in another language. They're speaking in a better language that they can understand through telepathy. And I thought it was amazing when she came out with that, especially with the evidence, because a lot of people come out and say, oh, you can say one thing, but show me it. And she said, sure. And she put it out there and said, watch how we do the tests and tell me that we did something wrong. And you can't.
These autistic, non-speaking telepaths, I believe most of them are alien hybrids.
Okay.
And that's the future of humanity. Not necessarily disabled. I think the new generation is coming that will be fully functional and telepathic at the same time. And moreover, I believe humans are capable of telepathy. Current humans. It just needs we need a change in culture and change in ecology. We are so poisoned by modern chemistry, electromagnetic pollutions, and culture that the telepathy is blocked in us. But it is possible to unblock.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of humans learn telepathy. They're being taught telepathy by the non-speaking autistic telepaths. So it is already started. The schools already exist. So they teach us, and that's the future. So they are the ground team of the hybrids, and they read minds. So they already know the truth.
Yeah.
And this truth already is coming out. It is the new humanity emerging.
All right. So let's do.
Skip P to me. Post contact.
Why is
Can you make it even louder, like tones more?
I probably can.
Okay.
1 second.
I think AI will be the key factor in keeping the economy alive. I don't think even with alien help, the economy can be reformed right away. I believe the old economy will persist for many years, while the new forms of economy will be layered on top of it, replacing it gradually. Currently, social engineering by social networks already strongly influences society. AI in its current public form doesn't yet coordinate people directly. The main trouble of humanity is competition. People negate each other's efforts by fighting on every level. What some people create, others destroy. In a way, it is also a blessing. Competition also prevents humanity from completely destroying itself and the environment. It slows down the expansion. It also speeds up cultural evolution and adaptability. The mysterious recovery of economies by tyranny and war is explained by the temporary halt of competition. In the remaining few years before contact, AI will be expanded to coordinate individuals and masses. I think this is the most important deal-breaking metric that would signal to the aliens that humanity is ready for contact. Possibly the secondary key achievement will be landing on Mars, which formally makes humanity multiplanetary. I don't think absolute totalitarianism is possible on Earth. This planet demonstrates supernatural resistance to global totalitarianism. There is always a split in dissidence. Similarly, free will is supernaturally protected on this planet. For these reasons, I believe AI will not take full control over the planet. I believe individuals will be free to choose whether to listen to AI advice and which AI system to follow. I believe that the Uber-like freelance economy will expand, so more people will select the hours and nature of work. Individuals will check in, be guided by AI at work, and check out freely. It will be normal to serve various occupations. With an AI-based economy, the aliens will help humans fix AI alignment, that is, to prevent secret manipulations and make it actually humane and helpful. The armies and military factories will be reoriented to the restoration of ecology. Some of the human fighters will be employed by the aliens to help guard the solar system from pirates. The main ecological work would be aimed at reforestation, planting forests. The other work would help to upgrade the manufacturing plants in China and other manufacturing countries to improve ecology. Pollution of oceans will be reduced. Institutional promotion of violence will be stopped. News will not promote violence, and social media will stop giving preference to violent content. The human diet will be gradually moved to vegetarianism. First, cows will be used only for milk. Then pigs will be gradually discontinued in other meat farming. Hunting will be discouraged. The upbringing of children and education will be done in a freer style in nature, with more participation and less trauma. Since AI has all the knowledge, upbringing will focus on how to use AI to communicate, live, and work, understanding as opposed to memorizing. I see three types of economy coexisting. Not separated by country borders, but rather layered and coexisting at the same locations. First, modern regulated capitalism. Second, modern socialism of Canada and Scandinavian type with strong social programs and AI-assisted guided coordination. Third, telepathic tribal commune economy. The telepathic commune economy is based on an alien economy and uses telepathic spiritual guidance instead of money to guide individuals in work, consumption, and sharing resources. The telepathic culture and economy will quickly grow. I estimate that currently about 0.5% of the population are telepaths. The remaining humans are biologically and genetically capable of telepathy, but their telepathy is inhibited by culture and lifestyle. Pressure of schedule, violence in media, and dangers of poverty block telepathy in humans. Global peace and the lightening of culture would allow many humans to quickly learn telepathy. This will be especially easy for kids, musicians, and artists. I expect that after contact, the growth of the telepathic population will be 1 to 3% per year. Newborn kids will be largely telepathic, likely over 40%.
So that's interesting. Over 40% is going to be telepathic, you think?
Only the kids. I think maybe the little over optimistic. Maybe 5% would be telepathic, but some percentage, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I visit yoga studios and ecstatic dance retreats, and there is a lot of uplifted people there. New age people in California exist, and
Okay.
they are super spiritual and psychics and stuff like that. So that population already exists.
All right. Let me get this back up here because I'm changing things.
We lost Paul.
Yeah, Paul had to go.
Okay.
He had to jump out, but we're going to continue on with this. He had something else that he had to do here.
Okay.
But so 40%, I think that's about right. And let me see here. It is a mistake to think that telepaths are minority on this planet. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's continue on here.
We'll learn telepathy and develop a new telepathic culture. The telepathic communities will be silent. Noise pollution will be reduced. Chemical, drug, and electromagnetic pollutions will be reduced. That in turn will enhance telepathy. The development of telepathic culture will be helped.
Because right now, Dr. Max, we have just found microplastics, didn't we, in our own blood?
I'm not surprised.
Like I just found that out a couple months ago. I was like, science has finally found mini plastics like in the parts per million in our own blood. Like that's so wrong. Like is that what's hindering us? Is that
Yes, yes, yes.
okay? So the outside pollution is hindering us from
Yes,
our own.
absolutely. Yep. Once
Okay,
you visit pristine nature and pristine farms, it's so different. The vibration is so different.
I bet.
In USA there is an area without cell phones. It's in West Virginia. So we need more of that.
Yeah, or the zone of silence in what is it, Mexico?
Oh, that would be great too.
Mexico? One of them.
Other
Yeah,
tribes
being alone and meditating is by itself is very purifying.
It is too. It very much is.
Expedition 029 1.jpgt.
Hold on, where are we at here? The development.
What are you using for playing? It sounds pretty good.
It is important.
I'm actually using the translator off of my Windows computer.
Okay.
If you do Control Alt and then you press like the plus or the minus button to like bring the screen zoom in or out, it'll bring up a magnifier, but it also has a voice.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah, so all you do is just press Control Alt and
The
then
development of telepathic culture will be helped by the aliens. Aliens and hybrids from various cultures will visit the planet. Humans will visit their worlds. Alien holographic simulations will help humans learn about and conference with alien cultures. That is where humanity will make important choices, which alien cultures to model our new telepathic culture after. That will be very important. It is important to avoid the self-destructive path of Zeta Greys that use too much genetic manipulation and technological augmentation to the point that their collective biofield collapsed. Currently, humanity is organizationally pushed toward the cyborg path of Zeta Greys. The danger of excessive genetic manipulation and merging with technology should be avoided. Many alien races overcame that temptation, so we need to learn from them.
why is it that it will lead to that, sir? Why is that? As far as like genetic manipulation, why should we think of it as a danger instead of a helping tool?
Basically, genetic manipulation already is possible, and it's already widely used for plant and animal breeding and genetic modification. Genetically modified plants and animals are already widely used, and I'm pretty sure that it is used to produce super soldiers secretly by many nations. So it's already in place, and indirect genetic manipulation already happens to improve the outcome of humans just in artificial insemination, because you pick the best embryos and you direct the evolution this way. So it's already happening. Humans want better children, healthier, and with certain qualities. And at the moment, probably they want more assertive. But in the future, they probably will want more gentle and telepathic and kind. So it is already happening. It's a temptation. If you can, why don't you do that? But
Okay.
Atlantis destroyed itself because it went to the extreme. They had slavery and they had genetically manipulated slaves for entertainment. That was a disaster on a spiritual level. So the souls were very badly damaged by these incarnations. So
Okay.
they destroy, and Zeta Greys did the opposite. They created super peaceful but sneaky race which takes over the universe by implanting their genetics everywhere. So, but they remove the aggression from themselves and remove they remove all the emotions, or the majority, like 99% of the emotions. And this way they made themselves the biofield collapse. Essentially, the genetic the sequence of the species, the genome of the species became devoid of life force.
Yeah.
So that aggression in humans is actually pretty much equal, identical. This provide a life force. That's why we are so attractive as a species, that although we are monkeys which fight each other, we are full of life. And if we modify ourselves similar to grays, we will go the gray path. We will become peaceful, telepathic, super smart, but no life. So as with economy, you want some self-interest and some service to others. You want both. And same thing with the genetics. You want self-serving and service to others. You want both of them. You want some level of egotism and self-serving. So that's art. Some of the aliens understand that, but humans certainly don't. And human science does genetic manipulation even without understanding the biofield. So that has to be educated, and whoever does genetic manipulation have to pay huge attention. And then lots of alien races are doing hybridization, so they hybridize. So I was warned by the aliens that excessive hybridization with outer races will also can collapse human coherence. It's all about coherence in the field. If you have reptilians, draconians, Pleiadians, greys, Lyrans, blah blah blah, other thousands of species, all creating hybrids with us, it loses coherence. Coherence, beauty. It's not beautiful anymore. It's not pure anymore. That's why Anunnaki were obsessed about pure bloods. Why royal families are obsessed about pure bloods, because that gives you purity, and purity gives you better telepathy and better psychic abilities. So purity is important. Too little purity is damaging. I will say it sounds racist, but racism is when you treat different races differently. I'm not saying they should be treated different. I'm saying genetic manipulation should be educated. It's a different angle. You have to know what you're doing, essentially.
Yeah. You have to know what species will be good with what species.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's a major choice of humanity in the next coming years. Very soon, we will choose which model we follow, and that will define the future. The next species which is created will be chosen by the humanity. What species we want to create? Will be a lot of opportunities, seductive opportunities. Do we want to create Orion, Pleiadian, Lyran, Reptilian, Draconian? And maybe there will be like it has to be a coordinated choice, and it has to be done by people who understand the biofield and actually the consequences of that.
And what? Yeah, exactly. And that's like you said, that's a big part of AI too.
Yes,
the artificial
you have to really use AI to understand. It needs to be discovered. That's my another project, which is I do it since '99. That's 25 years. DNA resonance, DNA field research. It's very important.
All right, let's continue on here.
Part of learning alien culture will come from matrimonial pairing. Some star-born hybrids will marry local humans and thus will bring their genetics and culture to us. Some humans will marry and migrate off-planet. Genetic hybridization and settling of star-born hybrids here will shift the genetics of humanity, thus giving rise to the next root race, as predicted by Blavatsky and Bashar. The growth of telepathy on the planet, coupled with peace and the lightening of culture, will coincide with vibrational shifts. The planet will develop pockets of high vibration. This high vibration is known to many humans. It is a sense of early spring and love spread in the air. These pockets will grow as more forests will be planted, and more people pop into the telepathy. As this vibration expands, a dimensional shift will happen, usually called ascension. As high vibration pockets on the planet deepen, they will become suitable for higher vibration hybrids to visit. So there will be a self-reinforcing feedback loop amplifying the shift. Although the path to ascension is understood, there are challenges on the way. The main challenge is that even with telepathy, the majority of humans will retain old culture, habits, and karmic ties to the violent past. Curing the culture of violence will be the major challenge. Another challenge will be motivating humans to live, work, and create. The humans will be disappointed by dropping from the top of the evolutionary ladder to the level of kindergarten. Previously, motivation came from fear and passion for power and social status. The new economic and cultural systems would need to compensate for the lack of traditional motivators. In summary, the combination of the following factors will define the post-contact timeline: unified GF program, coalition of countries, no technology transfer initially, end of wars, continued disclosure, revealing of secrets, hybridization uncovering, telepathy expansion, AI coordination, three-layer economy, vibrational shift, and gradual layer descension.
Now, I want to touch on that because the humans will be disappointed by dropping from the top of the evolutionary ladder to the level of kindergarten, right?
Yes, yes, that's very important, and everyone was like went through that already. We
That
already
sounds a
realized.
lot like the government hiding stuff back because they're like, man, if we like the disclosure world in general, they hide all this stuff back because they're like, man, we can't let this out, that we can't stop this thing from coming over our country. If we let Russia know, then they'll know that this thing can come over our country without being seen or heard or anything. And it's a security problem. It's a threat. It's a, then all these words come in because we're not at the top. We've never been at the top. We think we are, but we're not.
It's a blessing in a way.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Like, although the politics and ruling is hacked all over the planet, it's clearly hacked.
Oh, yeah.
There is a centralized hacking, but what it produced citizens who actually believe in good.
Yeah.
They believe that they're in charge. They believe in good, and that by itself is great. That happened all through history. Like a bad tyrant creates a country and tells the people that they are actually being nice and they should be nice, and gives them commandments and teaches them to be nice, and they become nice, and they're surprised that tyrant is a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's continue here. We got chapter 2, late introduction.
I think do you really want to go through? Yeah, go ahead. That's
I mean,
fine.
we can go through a couple of them. Like, let's say we can talk through it, like instead of having the AI do it. Let's see what we have here.
Essentially, I will summarize the introduction is that, what I describe is what happens after the contact. Assuming the aliens come and the secret rulers comply, actually. I
So
think
you're
the
going
secret.
over everything, economy. Okay.
Well, let me say again, secret rulers, which we have now, comply and start cooperating. I think the negotiations already are in place. I think the secret rulers, which we have, are largely adjusting, and they want to help and keep control and keep the control of the economy. So I think the old economy will remain for a while and will gradually be modified and reformed. So whatever we do now relies on that prediction that soon we'll have the disclosure and soon we will have the contact. So before that, I think there will be some economic shakeups. So I think they are planned, and I think they wouldn't go too bad. But we didn't have a major crisis since 2008. We slided through. It didn't crash the economy, and COVID surprisingly didn't crash the economy. So
Yeah.
I think the plan is already in place, and I think the hybrid workers, hybrid agents are everywhere, including the runaway civilization. I think it is being reformed too.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I'm just looking over some of this. Like, I didn't get a chance to read all of it yet, but it's brilliant the way it's laid out.
Yeah, I meditate on that. Lots of that is coming through meditation.
Like, we can here we go. We'll do at least we'll do something here. Off-world hybrids will visit Earth openly. Cultural exchange will
Oh yeah,
accelerate.
let me describe that. Imagine post-contact, people are still the old people. I mean, they
Mhm.
didn't become telepathic. 90 something percent are still old people doing old stuff, worrying about salaries and prices.
Yeah.
But there are ships in the sky, and many families are talking to aliens through Zoom, and I guess there will be some other ways to
Hmm.
invite the aliens for a holographic conversation.
Yeah.
So there will be a holographic conversation like Zoom, and you can talk to them, and that would be huge. Like, you can ignore them, many will ignore them, the many will live their own lives, but there will be an opportunity to change. And again, the news probably will change radically. So there will be news with hybrids speaking from the television screen, hybrids on YouTube, in TikTok, and everywhere. We have now hybrids in YouTube and TikTok, but they still look somewhat human, and there is a lot of noise. I think the level of noise will change. That's another problem. How would, the main problem, aliens come and nobody notices it because, there are other news like
Yeah.
economy crashes, blah blah blah, and the aliens, okay, like bottom paragraph of the newspaper. So I think that will change, because we know for sure that news are controlled. We know for sure the news
100%.
were super synchronized in major events and interpretations. It was very funny to see those YouTube videos where same phrase was repeated by many different news outlets, especially in competing countries. The same
Yeah.
phrase was pronounced, and same interpretation, which was uh, clearly an indication that the major news outlets are synchronized and controlled, but also the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook are also under control.
Yeah. So
So
this is what
that,
this is what you envision here is just an
yeah,
everyday.
that will change. There
Nothing
will
will
be,
change. It's just, I mean, and I agree with you on that, Dr. Max. Is even if the president came out tomorrow and said, "My fellow Americans, we are not alone. You still have to go to work. You still have to pay your bills. You still have to, you're still going to have to do your everyday things that you're doing. You're not going to stop."
right. When I talk about planting forests, my friend, my partner mentioned that China tried to do that and failed,
Oh,
because you cannot just order to the army to plant forests. You have to do the whole ecosystem. It has to
yeah,
be done smartly. If you plant the same tree all over the place, it will be eaten by a bug right away. And that's what happened in China. You have to really restore the ecosystem. And what she said is that if you just leave alone the surface, it will restore itself pretty fast. We are continuously damaging it, so that has to change. And there is a lot of art in ecological restoration, and it can be done. And with AI, it's already possible. I think people will be given AI guidance.
Hmm.
So the aliens will make sure AI is not hacked, it's not corrupted, and then
Yeah.
AI probably will guide everybody. It's already pretty smart, and in next couple years, I think it will be way smarter. It progresses very nicely.
But why do you think that AI will not want to destroy humans, like you said? Well, why?
Oh,
Can you get
it
into
would,
that a
but
little bit
again,
more?
it's called alignment. It's just a special
Alignment. Okay.
phrase, which means it will be nice with humanity ideal. So the assumption, it's a big, huge assumption that aliens will help with alignment. They don't have to do it themselves. They just point and explain, here it is how you do that. And the technology transfer doesn't have to happen directly from the aliens to the humans by handing physically. We have so many channelers, so many psychics who can read Akashic records, who can read alien minds, who are alien incarnated. So, like Tesla,
Yeah.
we know that, like my friends who have zero science background send me things which are literate, which are great. So they basically get downloads. So that's how humanity will get technologies, by uh, psychics getting downloads, and then that would be implemented.
100%. 100%. I know we had a question here from D. Do you have any idea which religion of the world may have a high percentage of alien hybrids? Is it exclusive to white families only based on their research? Have they tested non-white families? Not, I say Caucasian, but yeah.
I only tested 6 families which sent me the samples and paid for that,
Yep.
and I don't even know what are their
Their ethnicity.
colors.
You don't know.
Yeah, I didn't ask them.
You just went
They
over the
just
genetic.
we just emailed. Their
Yeah.
last names seem American or English speaking, but not more than that.
Okay.
But I'm sure that there are African tribes which are clearly hybrid. There are South American tribes which are hybrid.
Yeah.
Peru. There are African tribes. Blanking on the names. Who know they are coming from Sirius. Dogon tribe.
Dogon tribe.
in,
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Africa. So Basques in Spanish area, but all of us are hybrids, and some of them are more recently planted. I'm interested in Ashkenazi Jews. I think they were planted in the area of current Ukraine and southern Russia as hybrids, but somehow they already carried with themselves the Jewish tradition. So
Okay.
it's all over the place. What aliens did in the past and recent history, they created a tribe with certain better qualities, more cooperation, and more often great warriors like Mongols, and this tribe would spread around and multiply. And many of us, we have the gene which, changing the topic a little bit, we have the gene of treating aliens as gods. We have that genetically imprinted in us, and that would be a major challenge. The aliens come and we say, "Oh, gods, finally you came to us.
Yeah.
Tell us what to do." And
Yeah.
okay, you have free will. Exercise your free will. So they want to be treated as equals.
Okay.
They come as equals and be treated as equals, and they don't want to take any responsibility for our actions. We will be mirrored back. You decide, humans. Here is information. You decide. We give you intel. You decide. We only require that you stop major wars.
Yeah. And the one I was going to bring this up as well too, because this goes right along with everything we're doing here. So I'm going to remove the other one. Add that one to the stage. There we go. So this is the Alliance for Extraterrestrial Diplomatic Contact, which the Galactic Family Podcast, we're a sponsor for them. They have here's their mission, and I think it flows. I really want to get you in touch with them, Dr. Max.
Excellent, thank you.
They are incredible people. Here's their project roadmap that they have. So they're already doing the diplomatic initiatives already done. Everything is pretty much done. The site acquisition is the next phase.
Sounds good.
And then here's all the supporters. Like I said, Galactic Family, we're right down there.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah, we're a supporter of them. Like they have so much support for this going on that I believe in it. I do. And the next one would be this one, which would be the actual embassy part of it, which this is what they are proposing for the embassy. If you look at it here, it's going to be a circular structure with different doors that come into different airlocks and different places.
Oh, you don't need airlocks.
Well, they wanted to add the airlocks because of some species have environmental concerns when coming on the planet.
The technology allows them to have basically the
Like an outside.
invisible spacesuit. So
Okay.
all of them they can exist in spacesuits. Some of them vibrationally have trouble existing here for a long time, but pretty much all of them have holographic projections, so you wouldn't be tell a difference. They come as a
and
yeah.
that'd be a great reason to get you in touch with them, because then if they come up with something that you've already thought of, you can be
No, I
like,
spoke to them. I know they have the
oh, nice.
spacesuits which allow them to exist here. But most of their visitors will be hybrids, which are specially designed to operate on this surface.
Okay. What do you think of how is now we have different religions on the planet.
Yes.
Is religion going to, and there are different factors in the religion.
Mm-hmm.
Will we have to make a unified religion before we can come out?
No. As I said, the Earth is the planet of diversity.
Okay.
That's one of the major factors here, which makes it so great.
So we don't need a unified religion.
It's diversified.
Yeah.
And this is one of the major advantages and riches and virtues, that we are different. And even the area of the planet defines the spirit on it. Like living here in San Diego, I can feel the energies. They birth whatever you get in San Diego. So if you move the same people to the other area, they change. So the planet itself is a combination. It's like a combination of multiple histories which imprint on the culture. So just by the nature of ley lines and geomagnetic forces and spiritual forces of the area, the spiritual work would be different. So we don't have to have unified, but New Age is the closest. It's also a merge of multiple traditions. We have Pleiadian tradition with a circle. Guys, you know, when you make a circle and somebody else comes, you have to expand the circle and keep it circular. I come from Pleiades. That's what we do. You have to pay attention to the guest and show them, like, come to the circle. We move around. Yeah. You are in a circle. We create the energy moving around the circle in both directions. And there is a reptilian culture with a royal Gothic tradition, royal tradition. Right?
So Dr. Max, if when humans find out that we're not at the top of the food chain, how are we as humans going to redefine our place in the universe?
It's a choice, and the choice of individuals and collective. We are a very interesting game server, and that's why we are so interesting to other alien races, because souls come here, incarnate, come out greatly damaged, but also greatly recharged, and that is a huge experience. It's like Disneyland, but much better. So that's what we are. We live on a very interesting planet. It's unique. There is nothing like that. And humanity has a great potential. That's why we are getting help. We will eventually come to the galaxy, and because we are so crooked, selfish, and with a inbred tendency to fight and compete, and we also are being designed to be managed by the aliens. So So that combination is very weird or very unique. So we'll just have to realize by comparing ourselves to our guests, we'll realize that we are unique and actually we have the place in the galaxy, and we will help, I guess, on that level. You know, here is an example from my life. I was when as a student in Russia, I went to a northern biological station and worked as a cook in a um, local cafe.
Were you really a cook?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. And I had to cook like the largest I had to cook for 200 people with 10 helpers.
No, because some people say, well, I was a cook in Russia, but I was a cook at like this super secret facility in the
No, 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 no. It was the other way around. It was
I got you.
open facility, and students came, and most of the students didn't go through the army.
Okay.
And they volunteered. Actually, they were assigned or volunteered to work in the kitchen, and they were completely lost. And they were nice, but you need somebody who takes care of themselves and takes care of the business to actually clean the potatoes and cook.
Yeah.
And there were like maybe 3 people or 4 people who like went through the army, 2 years of the army service, and they would take care of themselves, rest when they needed, sleep when they needed. But when they worked in the kitchen, it was tenfold better help because they knew what to do, and they would take care of themselves and actually supervise others. They were like super qualified because they had experience, but also they went through the tough school. And that's what humans will do in a galaxy. We went through the tough school, and if you need the tough people, that would be reptilians, draconians, and us to actually go and clean up the mess.
How has your thinking evolved over time with this diagram of how we should present it after post contact?
It's a work in progress. I would say the most challenging part is economy. Like really, how do they will keep the economy going?
Yeah.
The economy tends to crash, and it's based on deception. If you remove deception, the economy must crash. It's like government is impossible without deception. Politics
Yeah.
is impossible without deception. Marketing is impossible without deception. Imagine advertisement, true advertisement. Look, our food is 100% poison and it tastes terrible. And the only reason you buy it is because it is advertised. It's just impossible. So the whole economy will have to be reinvented. And the other problem, huge problem, is that humans are motivated by selfish reasons. And humans wouldn't be replaced. The souls, like billions of souls, had multiple incarnations on the planet. They used to be selfish. They used to compete. So you cannot remove the competition from the economy. You have to keep the free market with competing parts. And imagine keeping economy going with the competing parts and yet somehow regulated. AI would be a huge factor here. And I was able to formulate that there is no universal solution. It's something which no new solution. It's something which you already have. It will be just more of what we have. Okay. Like monasteries. They have inside the monastery, there is no monetary system, right? It's inside the monastery or kibbutz or family. We usually don't help each other without using money or without using accounts, usually. So there will be more of that. And but there will be again a combination of whatever. It's still the same paradigm: more government control, more social programs, and more freedom for enterprise. I think that will remain, but many players will start playing that with open cards because if the secrets come out, you have to play with open cards. You help yourself and help others. So that will remain. The self-interest will remain, I think, for a while until more people become telepathic, psychic, and until a new culture appears. But so it will be a parallel existence of selfish culture. Regulated selfish culture is more like regulated capitalism,
Yeah.
and telepathic culture where people meditate and know what to give to who to give. So somebody comes and says, "Give me your car," and you go telepathically, talk to your guides, talk to the karma, see the karma, and then if you have to, you give your car. That's how it goes. You just give an economy. You just share.
Hmm.
In Soviet Union, there were cities, closed cities, which are called boxes, essentially military bases,
Okay.
where everything was free.
Hmm.
Cars were standing on the street. You take the car, turn on the key, and drive it anywhere.
That was
You,
like in before Chernobyl.
yeah,
There was a bustling city there of huge, like everything was free. You had free healthcare, free. Yeah, in that city, I believe it was a bustling, beautiful city before had Chernobyl had happened.
I have to find it out. I didn't know about that city, but
Oh
I
yeah,
know that other military bases were like that. It's basically
yeah.
military development, research and
Chernobyl was
development
the
base.
same way, sir. They had schools there. They had industry there. They had all sorts of stuff there. They had all the industry there, and buses and everything was free. Medicare was free. The bus rides were free. All you had to do was do your job that day, and you get your food, your electricity, your water, it's all included.
So it's not against human nature. It's possible.
Yeah,
It's possible.
it definitely is.
Um, so, uh, like when you do tarot reading with the tarot cards,
Hmm.
you understand the structure of the karma, you understand the structure of the future, and that gives you understanding whether you should give or take and these things. So, I think with the telepathic culture, with psychic culture, we just read the structure and the understanding of the karmic relationships with the person, and then you give or not give. You decide based on that. So it would not be money. It would be more like seeing the karma and seeing the relationships and negotiating and giving. So
Yeah,
giving culture based on who needs to get what. So that's how aliens live. Essentially, they don't use money. They use just understanding of um, your own path and their path and common good, I guess.
and the energies too that you're putting
Yeah,
off.
the
Like
energies. Yes.
it's all about um, light, frequency, and vibration, right? And it's the
So
energy.
imagine a restaurant where everything is free and so you give food to some people and you don't give food to other people. It's like, go ahead, go away, and I will give that to that.
Yeah. Now, before we end the podcast today, sir, I had a couple questions for you too. What would you say about skeptics that are listening today? What would you say to them about your plan? If they're skeptic about it, would what would you say to them?
If you listen to that point, thank you very much.
Hmm.
Uh, do your own research. Don't
Yeah.
rely on ChatGPT. Use Claude, paid Claude subscription. That's way smarter and way more trustworthy. Subscribe to Perplexity. It's better in research and searching online. Claude is better in thinking, and Perplexity is better in searching. And do your own research on every topic we discussed. Find the background. Do your homework. As a scientist, I'm still fond of doing homework. You have to really like meditate on that and
Yep.
actually read and research. And if it says no, the first answer of any AI is mainstream, and say, and now give me the alternative, new age perspective, and give me the primary sources. What were the sources of the information? What is the background? And after you kind of push a little bit, it complies, especially Claude complies and gives you the background, and then you make your decisions based on what you find out. But essentially, telepathy is largely proven now, and channeling is telepathy. Channeling is telepathy.
Yeah.
And so you have to pay attention to channeling. It's weird, it's crazy because not 100% of channeling comes through well. You have to pick and choose, but Bashar is a good standard. The law of
Oh, I
one
like
is
it.
good.
Yeah.
The law of one is great standard. So channeling sources, you have to pick and choose. There is noise there, but through the noise, especially if you use AI, and one of the favorite tools in YouTube, find a good video. You don't have to watch it. Go find the ask AI how to find the transcript of the video. Copy paste the whole transcript to AI, and ask and talk to AI about what was said there. So
Yeah.
that speeds up the research tremendously. You might not like the faces, not like the voices, but you get the information.
Yeah, you get the general concept of it. Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Max. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the ending of the podcast, which is going to be me. D has one more thing, one more question here. Hold on. Let me get it here, D. Sorry. I just saw that. How does one develop telepathy?
Oh yeah, telepathy is given to people who are kind, and that's the main answer. It's
Okay.
a natural
Kind
law.
and ready.
You have to be kind. You
Okay.
have to cure yourself from anger. Anger is PTSD trauma. If you
Okay.
cure yourself from anger and lose your selfishness, you lose yourself, but then you get telepathy. Your body gets telepathy, but you become one with the universe. You have to lose a big part of your selfishness, not necessarily forever, but for the period when you want to be telepathic. You have to train yourself to release the control and become unified with whoever you're speaking with. You have to become one with person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I take on Reiki. Reiki is so much helping in telepathy.
I like Reiki.
There are Reiki circles, there are Reiki classes, they're very cheap. And do Reiki, learn Reiki. And when you place your hands, not necessarily touch, you can even hold your hands, but when you connect to the person, you become one with them. There is, you read their mind. It's so obvious. You read not the whole mind, but you read a big part of that. You just tune in, and that's telepathy just assisted through Reiki. Reiki is a Chinese. Sorry, it went from China to Japan and then to America. So it's Eastern Japanese art that came to the West, and it's available anywhere. Very easy to learn. That's, I think, the easiest path to telepathy. And I found in San Diego we have a swimming pool where every month or twice a month the non-speaking autists are swimming. So I just was sitting there and bathing in that energy. So just find a way to connect to them and to the animals. Animals are telepathic. Forests are telepathic. So it's hard to not find telepathy around. It's everywhere. You just become awakened to it.
That's very true. All right, I've got a video that I wanted to show with this is 4 astronauts from talking about their experiences in space.
I was having some cameramen film the installation of a precision landing facility we were putting in right on the edge of the dry lake, and this saucer flew right over them and put down 3 little gear and landed out on the dry lake bed. And they went out to picked up their cameras and moved on out toward him filming. And he lifted off, put the gear back in the well, and climbed out at a very high rate of speed and disappeared. And so while I was going through all the regulation books and finding out the number to call in Washington to report it, I had them go over and develop the film. By the time they got back with the developed film, I was on the higher and higher and higher level officer talking to me. Finally with the colonel telling me to, when the film arrived at my desk, to put it in the carrier pouch. There would be a courier there at my office by that time already, and they'd arranged for him to fly in our base airplane back to Washington with these films. And do not run prints, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we stuck them in the courier pouch.
Did you watch the film?
we didn't have a chance to run it. I had a chance to hold it up to the window and look at it. It was certainly good film.
Good close-up shots.
Good close-up shots.
Hmm.
In my opinion, I think they were worried that it would panic the public if they knew that someone had vehicles that had this kind of performance way back right after World War II, a period of time. So they started telling lies about it. And then I think they had to cover another lie, and tell another lie to cover their first lie, and now they don't know how to get out of it. Now it's going to be so embarrassing to admit that all these administrations have told a lot of untruths that it's going to be embarrassing to get out of it.
I interviewed Gordon Cooper, Mercury astronaut Gordon Cooper, back in the 90s. Cooper said on camera that there was a landed UFO at circa 1957 at Edwards Air Force Base. His camera crew captured the filming of this object, and he presented this to the higher-ups, and eventually a courier jet came in from Washington. He handed the footage over, which was good. He viewed it.
That's the last he saw of it.
Exactly. Did you know where that footage went of the flying saucer that landed on the tarmac?
Went to Washington, that's all that I know.
Did you try to go after stuff like this?
We did. We have. It's there.
It still hasn't seen the light of day?
I'm saying most of it hasn't seen the light of day.
The time that I saw it, I said there was something out in front of me or outside the spacecraft that I couldn't identify, and I never have been able to identify, and I don't think anybody ever will. We were in drifting flight, and my partner, Ed White, was asleep. The spacecraft had all the flight control system turned off and almost all of the electrical equipment turned off except the radio. The spacecraft was drifting around, and I couldn't tell. I still don't know which direction it was pointing. It wasn't pointing towards Earth, but I couldn't see anything out in front of me except just the black sky. And as it was rotating around, I noticed something out in front that was a white cylindrical shape with a white pole sticking out of one corner of it. It had about the same dimensional relationship as a beer can with a smooth pencil sticking out one corner of it. I couldn't tell how close it was, and I couldn't tell what the size was. Depth perception in space is not very good unless you know what the size of the object is that you're looking at. I thought I might run into it, so I turned on the flight control system. It takes a while for the electronics to warm up. And in the meantime, I grabbed two cameras which were floating in the spacecraft.
But that just goes to show you right there. I want to pause it there, Dr. Max, is that he actually initiated the flight control system because he thought he was going to run into this thing or it was going to run into him. So it's an actual object out there. He's not, making it up. Had the film, brought it back, and went into secret, immediately. Nobody saw it. That I think is going to be our major problem when it comes to disclosure is what to disclose.
To me, it's an old news, I would say. Let's get over it. It's just boring. Aliens are here for forever. We just have to realize they're transdimensional. They pop in and out if they need to.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we just kept in quarantine. That's why the proof disappears. There is transdimensional ways to remove the evidence. So it's not necessarily physical. But once it's real, then it's real.
Exactly.
It's up to them and up to us to actually get to that point.
Exactly.
And I think if we just walk our path, the path of truth, awakening, and actually cooperating with AI, I think that we will get there.
Yeah.
It's I think we are already on the right path. We are getting there. There are multiple timelines. It's very easy to construct the timeline. If some of the things fail on the way, like alliance of Earth government doesn't happen or something, then the path would be like disaster. Even if economy crashes for real. If economy crashes for real, it would be much harder. But there is still a positive path, and what we find out is that the law of attraction actually works.
I believe in that.
Yep. We are attracted to the timeline which matches our vibration, our state of mind, and state of the soul. And it's impossible to force it on ourselves, or very hard to force it. But if you play it right, you race to the right timeline. And the fact that the fact that we didn't have contact yet in this timeline means that we are not high enough. If we were higher, we already had contact years ago. But that's a very interesting timeline. I think lots of people, the billions of people playing on this server and this timeline because it is very interesting. It's dangerous, dramatic, and don't expect that there will be less drama. Our timeline is optimized, maximized for drama. The more drama, the better. It's a very interesting experience, a very interesting game. And we volunteered to play here, and the danger is real, but there is still a positive future, which is already. Once you have that picture of the positive future, it's pretty stable.
Yeah.
It's pretty stable. It's kind of obvious. Once you formulate, it's kind of obvious. That's how it might be, and there will be lots of variants there, like who comes, who does that. Probably there will be. We didn't know about AI. We didn't pay attention to AI 10 years ago. So things like that will appear. Possibly something new which is not in the imagination yet, but it will appear, and there are some unexpected things, some hidden cards which will be played out. But whatever cards already there, I think it's kind of obvious how they will combine.
And that's what I'm waiting to see too, how all this is going to come together. Like, and you mentioned something, like usually when you hit the right road, you hit frequencies that are attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like things will start coming to you
mm-hmm.
instead of going away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'll give an example. I first started this podcast, almost a year ago now. Wow, we're getting up to a year. On the 31st of this month, it'll be a year that we've been going. In the beginning, I had like one guest here or there, but now it's like they've heard of me. They've seen the podcast. They like how we interview people, and
your questions are great.
And it draws people in, and we like to collaborate with people, and like you said, we ask a lot of good questions. It's not pinpointed questions like you're wrong, this is my feelings on it. Never. Because I don't know what I don't know. That's why I have you on, to explain it. Because the people in the fields, they're wonderful. We've got we've got Gene Sticko, we've got Dr. Andrew Morgan, I could go on and on and on and on. But if we get everyone together on the same wavelength like we are now, there's nothing that we can't accomplish. All of us together, being together, collaborating, that's what all of this is about.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. The last thing I wanted to bring up here, a couple things actually for the audience. Thank you for sticking around for the end. If you guys have any questions, you can bring them up now before the end. I'm going to go over a couple things before the end of the podcast real quick. So we did have this picture I brought up a couple minutes ago. I had a podcast scheduled for Tom Sued at Sasquatch Island. And it didn't happen. And the reason why is very, very cool for us. He had to cancel with us because he is now out on the Sasquatch yacht to go look for the wonderful Sasquatch out there where he's at in, I believe, Washington State. So he is out there, and they are going to, for the first time, we are at the Galactic Family Podcast. We're going to have first-hand, never before seen evidence. He has a 16-minute video of a Sasquatch. Well, I'll make sure it's a bigger picture and quality and zoomed in. But he has a FLIR picture of a Sasquatch for 16, 17 minutes out there, picking up these seashells off of the beach, right off of the beach. So, I mean, it's great. We're going to be going over with him about, the culture, different cultures, different masks that the Indians there wore, and during the celebrations and everything that they had, the tribes that he's been with, the knowledge that he's been with. It's unfathomable. It's like you, Dr. Max. I would go to for genetics. Anything. Like if it's DNA based, I think of Dr. Max. If it's Bigfoot or something, I'm thinking Tom Sued. All these people are wonderful because we're all getting it's all based on the same subject. Extraterrestrial contact, and Bigfoot could be, it could be. So that's why he had to actually cancel with us, guys. So just so you guys knew, and hey, I'm happy with that. If you have something else that happened, which he did, he had somebody fly in and they wanted to take the yacht out for a week for Sasquatch hunting. Hey, I'm all down for it. So what he's going to do is he'll be with us probably at the 1st of February. He's out right now. He already has this evidence with him. And he's going to be bringing it directly on this show first. And that's going to be probably first week of February we're looking at for when he gets back from this expedition he's on now. And then we have 2 more things that I wanted to bring up. We now have, we're in contact with Dr. Hart as well too. Galaxy Clusters, Giants of the Universe is a Smithsonian production produced by Dr. Alan Hart, or Dr. Hart. I don't know if his name's Alan, but Dr. Hart. And he is going to be coming out with this documentary with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Ellie Collins, Maggie Louie, Brian Hart. That's his name, Brian Hart, Dr. Hart, Brian Hart. So they're going to be coming on to discuss this with us, this new documentary film of the Giants of the Universe. So that should be fun. And last but not least, we've got Dr. Tim Gallaudet is going to be on probably this summer. After his book comes out, Leadership for Turbulent Times, Holding Fast in the High Seas. Dr. Tim Gallaudet is going to be on here, Rear Admiral. He'll be on here, and we're going to ask him all different questions about USOs and transmedium vehicles. How are they going to sit there and sense them? How will they react to it? Like, that's what I want to get questions out of him. And last but not least, we have the couple podcasts that are coming up in the next couple days, which will be pretty exciting stuff, guys. Pretty exciting stuff. Let's see here. We have, get off of here. We have the next one. Oh, the next one's going to be good. Opening America's next space. Hold on. Opening America's next space getaway, the Las Vegas Spaceport. They are going to be on January 16th at 1 p.m. Then we have Between the Stars, Dogon Cosmology Revisited. Okay. This guy who is, let me get it here. Walter Van Beek, he is going to debate himself. So I thought that was kind of funny. He's going to debate himself on his own book that he came out with on the Dogon tribe. That should be Von Beek. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right before the show. It's that when you're on, different. Okay, let me see here. Then the last one will be, which is pretty cool. We've got the Shaman Investigator, 30 years in the field. His name is Brandon Cooper, actually. And this is a pretty cool one. 30 years experience, hands-on experience. And he is also on History Channel documentary Monster Quest. He is now, the new season that just came out with Monster Quest, he's on there on the History Channel. So he's going to come on, let us know all those creepy cryptids that he's been seeing around the area, and hopefully we'll get some evidence to show you too. Other than that, Galactic family, that's all I have for you. I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being around. It's been a journey. I might have a special podcast on the 31st. That is actually our 1 year. 1 year since we've been doing this. And I couldn't be happier. The connections we made, the people that I've met, it means the world to me, but it means the world also to everyone else that we're sharing it to. That's what we do here at the Galactic family. We get people that have these ideas. We let them tell their truth, spread the good knowledge, collaborate with people, and get it out there more in people's eye. So if you like what we're doing here, you can join as a member. You don't have to. You can see me in Discord. I'm always in there. I'm always around. Shoot me a question. We've got different people in there. Different guests have also joined into the Discord. So, Gene Sticko should be in there in a couple days. A couple other people will be joining there in the Discord. So let's get this Galactic family and let's keep it moving. All right. Thank you, Galactic family. Have a great night and a great day wherever you're at. And Dr. Max, I'll see you in the background just a second. And we'll see you guys in a couple days here for the next one, the spaceport, Las Vegas spaceport. Have a great one, guys.